You might think of submarines as huge metal machines gliding silently beneath the ocean. But what if I told you the US has created something that looks and moves more like a creature of the sea? Imagine a high-tech autonomous submersible capable of staying hidden for months, conserving power, and slipping through the depths without a trace. That's DARPA's new Manta Ray submarine. Why does this have China so worried? Let's dive into this incredible innovation and explore what it means for global naval power. Advanced capabilities of the Manta Ray. The Manta Ray is designed to be virtually invisible in more ways than one. Unlike typical submarines that rely on regular resurfacings, this underwater marvel can stay submerged for months. The U.S. Navy doesn't even need to monitor it constantly. This submersible is equipped to operate on its own, following preset routes, or adapting as needed to its environment. It doesn't need to worry about fuel stops, air for a crew, or the typical logistical support that submarines rely on. It's like releasing a silent, invisible hunter into the ocean. And it isn't just a standard metal machine moving through the water. The Manta Ray actually glides, using changes in buoyancy rather than traditional propulsion to conserve power. This method not only makes it incredibly energy efficient, but also reduces noise, making it nearly undetectable. If it needs to disappear for a while, it can anchor itself to the seafloor, entering a low-power hibernation mode. Imagine the advantage here. While other subs have to return to base or surface for supplies, the Manta Ray can wait as long as necessary, hidden and silent. The Manta Ray isn't just advanced underwater, it's designed to be easily transported and assembled. It can be broken down into components that fit neatly into standard shipping containers, which means the U.S. can deploy it wherever and whenever it's needed. Traditional submarines require a lot of resources and logistics to move around, but the Manta Ray? It's built for speed and adaptability, and that means it can show up just about anywhere in the world on short notice. This kind of flexibility is almost unheard of in traditional naval warfare. It means the Manta Ray can be assembled and launched from nearly any coastal location, allowing the U.S. to respond quickly to emerging threats. This adaptability isn't just practical, it's strategic. With the Manta Ray, the U.S. has a tool that can adapt to whatever mission it's needed for, wherever it's needed. It's a puzzle that can be put together fast, then released to carry out its silent, critical missions. And then there's the Manta Ray's ability to carry different payloads, like surveillance equipment, or even weapons. The Manta Ray is like a chameleon, adapting to different missions by changing what it carries. It can have specialized sonar for scouting missions, high-tech cameras for reconnaissance, or potentially even offensive payloads if the situation calls for it. This versatility makes the Manta Ray a powerful asset for the U.S. Navy. Unlike typical submarines that are built for specific missions, the Manta Ray can be customized and repurposed quickly. It's like having multiple subs in one, ready to be whatever it needs to be. Imagine an unmanned sub that's equipped to watch, wait, and, if necessary, take action, all while remaining hidden and untraceable. Strategic implications for China. The introduction of the Manta Ray changes the game in the South China Sea. This region has been a hotspot of tensions, with China asserting its control through a powerful naval presence. By building bases on artificial islands and positioning its fleet, China has maintained a strategic hold. But now, with the Manta Ray in the picture, the balance of power could shift. This isn't just a new submarine. It's a new kind of threat, one that China may struggle to detect. China has relied on the size and strength of its naval fleet to maintain control. But while large fleets are intimidating, they're also noisy and visible. The Manta Ray, however, operates in silence. It can be there, right in the middle of contested waters, and China wouldn't even know it. It's a shadow in the ocean, gathering intelligence, mapping territories, and observing movements. For China, this silent observer represents a massive strategic disadvantage. Beyond stealth, the Manta Ray's true strength lies in its surveillance capabilities. The sub can gather a wealth of information without anyone even knowing it's there. It can map out the ocean floor, keep tabs on Chinese ship movements, and monitor critical installations. Essentially, it's like having a high-tech spy beneath the waves, silently watching every move. This is the part that has China especially concerned. If the US has the ability to see everything China does, then the advantage of surprise is lost. The Manta Ray's ability to stay hidden while gathering data makes it the ultimate tool for reconnaissance. For China, this changes everything. Any action, any maneuver could potentially be tracked, recorded, and analyzed by an unseen observer lurking below. It's a level of surveillance that leaves China vulnerable, unable to control the narrative. What's more unsettling is the Manta Ray's potential offensive capabilities. Right now, the US hasn't disclosed all the details, but the Manta Ray's design allows for different types of payloads. That could mean weapons. Imagine an unmanned sub that can carry out strikes autonomously without putting a single sailor at risk. It could be patrolling international waters, watching, and ready to act. For China, this is more than just a strategic disadvantage. It's a deterrent. If the Manta Ray is equipped for combat, any aggressive move could result in retaliation from a submarine China can't even see. It's a new level of underwater warfare that could alter how China approaches its own naval strategies. Suddenly, the risks become much greater, and every action carries the threat of an invisible response. China's response and countermeasures. China is not sitting idle. They're aware of the technological edge the Manta Ray provides, and have already started working on their own versions. They're exploring biomimetic technologies, creating submersibles that mimic marine animals like manta rays and sharks to achieve similar stealth capabilities. This has spurred a technological race, as each side pushes to create the most advanced and elusive underwater machines. To counter the US advancements, China is expanding its own submersible fleet. They're pouring resources into developing underwater drones and submarines capable of executing covert operations. While China's technology may not yet match the Manta Ray's autonomy and endurance, they're catching up fast. Their focus is on building a fleet that can cover more ground, monitor potential threats, and counter US presence in contested waters. This isn't just about machines in the water. It's about strategy, influence, and power. An underwater arms race is unfolding. Both nations know that whoever controls the depths can exert control above as well. The Manta Ray is forcing China to rethink its maritime strategy. The US now has a weapon that can operate unseen, disrupt without warning, and change the rules of engagement. And China is responding, pushing its own technological boundaries to keep up. The Manta Ray submarine represents more than advanced technology. It's a shift in how naval power can be projected and preserved. This single machine brings a new era of naval warfare, where stealth, endurance, and versatility matter more than sheer numbers. And with the stakes so high in the South China Sea, it's easy to see why China is scrambling to match it. But what do you think? Will the Manta Ray change the balance of power, or will China find a way to counter it? Share your thoughts below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on the latest in military tech and global power shifts. Let's see where this underwater rivalry takes us.